Ryan, I got it off the tip of my tongue. I can't think of what it is, though. I think I got it. Well, let me tell you something, brother. No, that's not it.
What?
Woo!
No.
I mean, there's this one phrase that we need to say to open the show. Oh, I got. Ooh, yeah.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
That's not it either.
You can. No, that's not appropriate. No, that can't be it.
No,
No.
Hey.
No.
Are you ready?
No.
Warmer, but I think I got it. Finally, WrestleMania has come to New Orleans. Episode 32, and that is indeed the bottom line.
Because Matt and Ryan said so. In front of the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for the episode number 32 of the Matt Ryan Show.
It is indeed WrestleMania week, Ryan. A ton of fans from not only outside the state, outside the country are going to be here for the Showcase of the Immortals, as the event is so called, or the Super Bowl of Wrestling.
The Super Bowl of Wrestling, I like that.
But yes, definitely a childhood bucket list for a lot of people this weekend. About 75,000 people will be in there this weekend. Ryan and I were walking by earlier. They just finished putting up the set. We got a little sneak preview. We couldn't quite see the whole thing, but we were talking to one of the security guards who, quote unquote, told us, "Man, that thing big.
That thing big.
That thing big.
That set big.
That set big."
They've all finished up setting up today, prepping for Sunday night's big extravaganza here. Matt, take it away.
Absolutely. Got a bunch of good matches on the card. Why don't we go ahead and start with the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It'll be Randy Orton defending against Batista and one of the two following, because this will be early tonight. Triple H and Daniel Bryan will basically be in a number one contenders semi-final type of matchup here.
To be the third spot.
To be the third spot in the main event. Originally, this was a one-on-one contest, and fans basically spoke their displeasure of what that event was,
and they did it
I guess
one word. And one word only.
No?
Yes! 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 Yes!
Those of you who don't know, that's Daniel Bryan saying. For probably at least half of the people that watch the show had no idea what this show was going to be about.
And that's okay.
But that's okay, because some of our fans didn't want a WrestleMania show, and that's exactly what we're giving to them. Don't worry, we have Final Four stuff later on as well.
And a little LSU baseball, which needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I guess.
But first and foremost,
and we'll also give World Series predictions at the end, just to do it.
Oh, speaking of, it is opening day, as a matter of fact.
It is opening day.
Yesterday, today. But this week.
But Ryan, what's your take on the main event? You think Orton's got a chance to retain that belt?
All of this talk with WrestleMania in the past few weeks has really gotten me to be a lot more interested in it, and I've always been a fan of the heels.
Yeah.
Which is just, I like the New World Order back whenever we were kids. I like Randy Orton. I think he's the top-notch wrestler in WWE right now. Nobody gets up from the RKO. I've got Randy Orton taking the belt.
Retaining the belt. He's definitely the underdog in this match. I think he definitely makes a better heel as well. He portrays it better as
he just looks
character.
Evil. He looks evil.
Plus the RKO is basically your new version of the Diamond Cutter, which was always one of the coolest finishing moves, of course. Bang, of course, DDP. I think I'm going to go first off. I think Daniel Bryan will get into the main event.
Yes.
And also, I can't see Daniel Bryan not leaving as the new heavyweight champion.
Really?
Yeah. Next match we'll talk about is the other big one on the card, of course, is The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. That is just going to be an all-out brawl. The Streak versus the Beast is what it's being called.
Yeah. It's the return of Undertaker. It's a dream come true for 75,000 people to finally see Undertaker in person and in the ring. This one's a no-brainer for me. As much as Brock Lesnar is such a decorated athlete in UFC, decorated athlete in WWE, in national Greco-Roman wrestling, I just think The Undertaker's return here is the storyline, and he's going to walk away with a tombstone and a W.
Absolutely. I mean, it's tough to beat the tombstone. He'll have to defeat the F5 as Brock Lesnar's finishing move is. I think this will be a back-and-forth match. But at the same time, you can't pick against the Streak. I mean, the guy's 21-0 at WrestleMania for a reason, and I think he'll definitely come away with the victory on that one as well. A couple other matches on the card, of course, but one more we wanted to touch. Just kind of touches base with all of them is the Battle Royal with Andre the Giant.
Yes. Yes.
We got 30 superstars. A couple of them may have some surprise interest. It may just be like the Royal Rumble usually is.
I think you said we have 27 out of 30
announced. 27 and 30, I want to say, has been announced so far. I got Big Show in this one. Just those type of matches, it's hard to get a real big guy out of it. I mean, Big Show himself is about 7'2", 400 pounds. You know, himself in real life. That's tough to get a guy over a top rope like that.
Yeah, and you know you're gonna see the big bodies like Sheamus and Ryback and the Big Show. There's a couple more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but that
I think I want to say maybe the Real Americans.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The Real Americans.
They're in that tag team match for the titles, the Fatal 4-Way one that'll be on the pre-show with the Usos and a couple other teams. I believe. Cody Rhodes and Goldust.
Yes.
And all. But I believe they're also all in the Battle Royal in the extra show as well. But that'll be interesting to see for sure. You got a lot of high quality names. Dolph Ziggler in there as well. You know, that could be a wild card. He is a fan favorite. But it's hard to pick against the Big Show in an event like that.
Especially with everything that they put Big Show through over the past few months, with him having to choke slam Dusty Rhodes and everything along these lines. You know, the Hall of Famer himself and a friend of Big Show's. I think this is going to be his redeeming moment. I think he's going to walk away with the W here on this Royal Rumble type of event. Yeah,
and just to kind of skim through the card the rest of the way, the Shield taking on the New Age Outlaws and Kane, sort of a reality era and attitude era. Hard to go against the Shield. The Hounds of Justice, as they call themselves, really are starting to put it together as a team. It's almost like a modern-day NWO, just how they act.
Yeah, they really are. You know, I think they're the toughest three-person team that we've seen in probably the better part of 15 years. I think you're right, since the NWO. Yeah, I can't remember one match I've seen the Shield lose, especially when all three of them are involved.
Yeah, they're definitely a very tangible trio. I was trying to think of a good way to put it there. When they're on the same page, they're indeed tough to beat, but you know, the matches we talked about are the big ones. They have some other ones on the card too. It'll be a heck of a show to watch for sure. And I'm personally looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see, especially, you know, if Daniel Bryan does come out in the end. 75,000 people doing yes in the Superdome. That'll indeed be fun to see as well. But we'll be right back in. Ron and I we'll talk some LSU baseball. We'll give our Final Four picks
and World Series
picks. You know, it's opening day in Major League Baseball. We have a lot of baseball fans that watch us.
Yes, we do.
But we'll be right back.
Coming right back.
LSU baseball had one of their worst weeks in a long time, Ryan. Lost to Tulane and getting swept at Florida. The Tigers have a lot of work to do in two very important SEC series coming up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, and Tiger fans are getting a little nervous.
Well, we've got McNeese at home for a tune-up. We've got State at home this weekend, who is now ranked ahead of LSU for the first time in God knows how long, although they were national championship runner-ups last year.
Right.
If we don't take 4 out of 6...
They beat 2 out of 3. They beat Vanderbilt 2 out of 3 as well this year.
Wow. Well, if we don't take 4 out of 6 between this weekend against State, next weekend against Arkansas, both in the box, LSU's got some real concerns to address, and it might be time to break out the panic button. Good note, Bowman will be back this weekend. Bad note, Bregman, 4 of
41.
4 of 41 in SEC play. The guy who led the nation last year in batting average is batting under 100.
He's down to 291 for the year overall.
And he's batting under 100 in games that matter.
Yeah. And it's not just to pick on Bregman because nobody's hit him as well.
It's not just him. It's the team as a whole.
And, you know, he doesn't have Rhymes or Cass to protect him, but at the same time, nobody's protecting Bregman this year either. You know, I mean, nobody's stepping up, and they got to find a spark or something. Otherwise, it's going to get ugly quick. A little bit of rapid fire, as we always like to do. Final Four, who you got this weekend, Ryan?
UConn. I think they're the last team to beat Florida since December. Florida has won every single game they played. I think UConn beats them again. And I think the Badgers are going to be, you know, the quiet national championship contender this year. And I've got UConn and Wisconsin in the national championship. I think Shabazz Napier has shown he's one of the best players, if not the best player in the nation right now. I've got UConn as a national champion.
Yeah, so like your boy, Kemba Walker for a couple years.
Kemba Walker reincarnated.
Absolutely. I'm going to go all SEC in this one. I think Florida is just going to be too physical for UConn. I think they'll try to take out Napier almost kind of like Baylor did to Creighton with McDermott. But then on the other side, I'm going to take Kentucky, but I think this is going to be a very physical, very close game. I think you may see a very similar game to how they had with Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan's a team that is fairly similar to Wisconsin, playing the same conference. That had pretty similar seasons for sure. Both were 2 seeds.
Yep.
But I'm going to go to the All-SEC final, and then I'm going to take Florida in a very physical game by 6 in the championship game.
Florida has shown that they can beat Kentucky. They've done it 3 times this season. So, per your predictions, if it goes that way, I've got Florida. If Florida beats UConn, Florida's a national championship.
Okay.
If UConn beats Florida, UConn's a national champion. I just don't think Michigan. I think Kentucky's youth is going to be their downfall this year, whether it be against Wisconsin or against.
And that does play a factor in the tournament usually as well.
And you would think it'd play to your favor with fresh legs, but experience will carry you far in the Final Four. Speaking of experience, the World Series prediction. Now that we're at opening day.
Opening day of Major League Baseball. I'm going to go in the AL with the Tampa Bay Rays. I think they finally will. Well, I'd say finally. They've made a World Series before. I'm going to take them to win the American League. And I'm also going to kind of go with maybe what is their carbon copy in the National League. I'm taking the Washington Nationals.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Yeah, they Strasburg and Harper and Zimmerman, all these guys, they have some experience. I think they finally get over the hump, overtake the Braves in the East, and get over the Cardinals and the Dodgers.
I put a lot of thought into this one, in who in the National League could really be a contender this year that wouldn't be the Cardinals, because I think there's a few teams that are top-notch and the rest are kind of middle of the pack.
The Cardinals have probably been the most consistent franchise in the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
They're making the playoffs every single year.
And I think the Nationals have it this year. You hit it spot on with Zimmerman and Harper and Strasburg. I think Strasburg's finally going to get his first full season of pitching from top to bottom, and I think the Nationals will come out the NL. I'm going to go with my favorite team, the New York Yankees out of the American League. This is Derek Jeter.
They made some moves in free agency.
Mr. November's last season in the pinstripes. I think they bring it home. I think they end it on a high note for Derek Jeter. I think they win their 28th World Series championship. Go Yankees.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Nationals to beat the Rays in the series.
It's gonna be interesting. Watch the Nationals play this year. These boys are gonna be good.
They're a fun team to watch for sure. They do it right. But that's all the time we have for this week. Next week, we're gonna get back to something a lot of people like. LSU spring game is Saturday. We're gonna talk some LSU spring football. I know a lot of people want to know.
I smell something.
This is some hot boudin, cold kukush.
Come on, Tigers.
Poosh, poosh, poosh.
Football's in the air.
Football next week, gentlemen and ladies. Until then, good night, America. And, of course, yes.